नमस्कार जय जगन्नाथ मु आपको स्वागत करुच्ची StudyIQ OPSC चैनल रे आज वीडियो माध्यम रे आम गोटे नुआ स्कीम इनफैक्ट डिस्कस करिवा स्कीम रो ना होची मुख्यमंत्री सहारी विकास योजना। मुख्यमंत्री सहारी विकास योजना ओडिशा सरकार को द्वारा रिसेंटली लॉन्च करा जायतला यानी कि इन ए पर्टिकुलर कैबिनेट मीटिंग दिस स्कीम वाज लॉन्च्ड बाय द Odisha government. So today in this video, we will see what exactly the scheme is all about, what are the features of the scheme, and then we'll discuss what are those impacts or significance of scheme and what are those challenges, and then we'll see how to successfully implement or effectively implement of the scheme. So it would be around a kind of holistic coverage of the scheme, and we will try to cover as many as points so that it will help you in writing mains answer, particularly in the GS paper 1 where we have Indian society in your syllabus. Okay, so let's start today's session. First of all, let me tell you, when we say Mukhyamantri Sahari Bikash Yojana, Mukhyamantri Sahari Bikash Yojana, it's a major urban development initiative. Main year objective kono urban development kariba. Although we have seen in the past, there are multiple such schemes have been initiated by the central government, in fact, jemti smart cities, one such, urban development on the basis of tourist places also. But ये जो मुख्यमंत्री शहरी विकास योजना, especially the urban development, यार जो main idea अच्छी, what we have planned or we have set a target of 2036 would be the developed state. यदि 2036 को आमे जदि डेवलप्ड स्टेट ओडिशा को गोटे डेवलप्ड स्टेट करबा पे टारगेट रखिछु, डेफिनेटली अर्बन डेवलपमेंट वुड बी वन सच एस्पेक्ट एंड वी हैव टू एम्फसाइज दिस इज वन एस्पेक्ट. सेकंड एस्पेक्ट, if you see the current urbanization of Odisha, current urbanization in the sense 15 to 70% of total population in Odisha, they are living in the urban areas. So what we expect, it will increase in near future. So if it will increase in the near future, that there is a high possibility that we need to provide those basic amenities. Yeah, the government has to provide those basic amenities in those urban areas, since more and more people would come to urban area, more economic activities will be developed. So we need to, urbanization को आउरी strong करिबा को पड़िबो, consolidate करिबा को पड़िबो, right? So for that matter, or to effectively implement this policy, government has allocated 6,000 crore for the next 25-26 to 29-30, almost in the next 5 years, 4 to 5 years, the government will spend 6,000 crore. And if you see the urban infrastructure perspective, urban infrastructure point of view, then 50,000 urban infrastructure components or projects will be implemented in the next 4 to 5 years. Okay, so these are the broad what we call the meaning of this Mukhyamantri Sahari Bikash Yojana. Now coming to the features, what exactly of those different components jaha par sarkar focus koruchan. The first focus would be urban infrastructure development. Jodi urban infrastructure development koiba, then the first thing first, good communication यानी कि road connectivity. Second, proper drainage system. Third, let's say basic amenities, sanitation. Okay, basic amenities, sanitation, recreational club houses, gymming with respect to health. As you know, बर्तन सरकार जमती open gymming system पाई develop करूचंदी, parks develop करूचंदी, parks for the children as well, children. To play games, outdoor games खास करी, community center, okay, जिनते हमें कल्याण मंडप भी कहूचे, vending zone for those street vendors and hawkers, vending zones भी establish करीबा को पड़ेगा, market complexes, so that this must be in a structured manner to decongest the urban area, to reduce the pollution, sanitation, hygiene must be maintained. So these are the broad features. And if you see the this upcoming evolution of technological aspect, for example, electric vehicles, So you need charging stations as well. As we have seen recently, Odisha Sarkar ko tarafru EV policy 2.0 introduced madhya karaichi. So these are the basic, you would say, parameter or the features which will be initiated by the government. Second feature होची खास करके urban wage employment and amenities. Urban wage employment amenities means what? Those people ଯେମିତି ଆମେ simply ଆମେ କହିପାରିବା जो basic, let's say for the morning walk, okay, for the morning walk, running track, cycle track, okay, ये सब जिनिଷ, playgrounds. So this is one aspect. Second aspect, if you see, water resources conservation is one aspect. We need to focus on that because we need a sustainable developmental projects. So when we say sustainable, it should not be, or the development should not be at the cost of the environment degradation. So हमको कौन focus करिवा को पड़िवो, since urban area खास करके affected by this heat wave and all, so we have to start the forestation or afforestation, what we call. We need to develop that forest to absorb the heat in the urban areas, to absorb the carbon, or what we call the carbon sink system. Apart from that, what we need to develop, let's say, rainwater harvesting, okay, to recharge the groundwater, etc. So this is another aspect, another amenities we need to develop. जोटा कि आमे कहि परिबा खास करके अर्बन वेज एम्प्लॉयमेंट, यानी कि ये जो प्रोजेक्ट गुडी को भी, दे विल डेफिनेटली क्रिएट जॉब्स. Okay, these projects will create jobs as well. Next is water body rejuvenation. What is this water body rejuvenation? Water body rejuvenation is, if you see urban areas, you will find multiple such wetlands. But these wetlands are in threat for different purposes. But the bottom line is anthropogenic intervention. Yani you would say that more and more, people are coming to urban areas in the need of this urban housing facilities. This private sector real estate people, they are simply using that wetland as for the high rise apartments and all. So simply destruction of the wetland on the name of this economic development or economic activities. But some or other way amku wetland को conserve करिवा को पड़ी. Otherwise यदि आपण वर्तमान urban areas गुडी को देखिबे, urban areas are, they do not have this well drainage system. They do not have proper this, what we call, process to absorb the surplus water. Then got a problem jota dikha jauchi, which is urban flooding. This urban flooding is due to the human, the humans' exploitation of the nature. Kind of wetlands is something which absorbs the surplus water. So it will be able to manage the urban flood, but now wetlands how exist karu nahi to absorb that surplus water. So wetland conservation is another such component we have to develop. Cities या urban areas बहुत गुड़े अच्छी जो गुड़े का river front रहे अच्छे, but unfortunately our developmental aspects धीरे धीरे से river bed को हमें कौन करूँचे narrow करी चलचे. At the cost of this river bed, our development challenge, we are building housing projects, real estate projects, etc., etc. So what we need to do, river को भी तारो proper drainage system दरकार to flow the surplus water. Otherwise, ये जो urban flooding जो problem we have seen in the Mumbai, we have seen in the Chennai, the similar kind of problem can happen in any such cities or towns. Apart from that, if you see animal welfare activities, another aspect. Animal welfare activities in the sense ki establishment of the gosala or cow shelter, because unwanted or जो मन को खास करके their owner, they have simply left तो or abandoned them. So सेमान को shelter दवा plus pet care centers. Let me give you one example. Delhi is the first UT or state, you can say, not exactly state, but UT, जी की pet mananko pai gote special park seven established karuchen, because here you have to that kind of what you call the smart cities, जो कि coexistence should be possible, or we have to facilitate for the coexistence of human being and animal, etc. So apart from these features, we have objectives and impact. Objectives कौन होची कहीं कि हमें स्कीम को लॉन्च करूँ. First, urban renewal. By looking into this condition, since urbanization is the reality, more and more people would come to urban areas. So it's the duty of the government to provide a basic infrastructure facilities, basic amenities, sanitation facilities, etc., etc. Second, if you say that urbanization will be there, urbanization bodibo, urbanization asset gudiko bodibo, so obviously for the government it would be a source for revenue generation. So that revenue generation could be used in the expenditure as well. So revenue generation. Third component you would say that the urbanization better hoji, more people would come, economic activities will grow, so it will have a multiplier impact. And in that multiplier impact, obviously, the employment generation would be there, income of the person or per capita income would increase. So this is another what we call the impact of you would say generation of this, this economic activities in the urban areas. Now, as I have already told you, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ development को देखुचे, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ environmental conservation को देखुचे, one thing which must or should come to our mind, that is environmental sustainability. So what we need to do, urban greening and water conservation is another aspect, and plus whatever amenities, whatever facilities, whatever provisions we are giving in the urban areas, that must be inclusive in nature. कारण यदि inclusive न होला, that would be considered as a bane. It's not boon or blessing havani, that would be considered as a bane. That means isolation badibo, alienation badibo, that could create or disturb the social harmony ki bhi disturb kari paran. So these are the objectives and impact apan koi paribe of this Mukhyamantri Sahari Bikash Yojana or khas karki smart urban cities or urban centers. Now, also we'll discuss the challenges, because since we are moving towards a particular target, definitely challenges ରହିବ. The first challenge is the administrative capacity in urban governance. Urban local bodies in our country, in fact, the Odisha रे भी आपण देखिबे, they lack or the well efficient human resources are not there in our urban local bodies. Those who can go for a good planning, execution, monitoring, etc., etc., implementation, we lacked those skilled persons. Second is what we call, Panchayati Raj system, what we call the urban local bodies, they do not have that much of autonomy. They do not have that much of, you would consider, authority or power, so that they would or they will be able to implement this at the ground level. Rather, if you see, this urban local bodies are dependent, over dependent in fact, on the state government, because as we know, this 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, which gives the power or authority to the Panchayati Raj system and urban local governance, but still yet to devolve those power, or yet to delegate those powers in fact by the state government. So this could be a challenge with respect to the administrative efficiency. Next, obviously, land availability and encroachment issue. Public properties have been encroached in the cities. ये गोटे प्रकार challenge definitely आसीपारे, and the projects we just discussed, they need lot of land. So how to acquire that land, how to vacate that encroached land, how to provide compensation, and if you see urban में slums भी अच्छी, so how to tackle that kind of situation, because you have to manage that slums as well, because you have to rehabilitate them, because slums definitely not making the cities good in terms of environment, other things. So it's the duty or responsibility of the government, that at least जो slums dwellers manako chandi, this should be given the alternative residential complexes, etc., so that city and sustainability can go hand in hand, what we call. So this land availability and encroachment is another factor. Then the vending zone, that also needs land. But due to this encroachment, it's very difficult for the local administration to vacate that place and almost construct a vending zone kind of thing. Third challenge you would see the fund utilization and leakage, because corruption is something which is in our country. So minimization of corruption, zero leakage, and timely release of fund, timely implementation of the project, lesser delay in the project. So these are the parameters we need to focus upon with respect to fund utilization and as well. But this is something which are in our DNA. So ଏଟାକୁ ଆମକୁ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ କି କେମିତି ଆମେ ଏଟାକୁ ଆହୁରି ଏଫିସିଏଣ୍ଟ ବନେଇବା ସିଷ୍ଟମକୁ। ନେକ୍ସଟ ଇଜ ଦ ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁସନ ଡିଲେ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ଅଲସୋ। ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁସନ ଡିଲେ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଆଇ ଜଷ୍ଟ ମେନସନ୍ଡ कि आपन को टाइमली फिनिश करबा को, अदरवाइज अननेसेसरली द कॉस्ट विल इंक्रीज, ओवर बर्डनिंग द सिस्टम, द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, द लोकल गवर्नमेंट, as well as we need to focus on the quality of the project, because if we are planning a city and we are constructing a particular project, so we are planning next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years down the line. So that much of sustainability or sustainability must be there with those projects, or that much of life cycle would be there with that project. Next challenge would be revenue generation from the urban assets. Let me tell you, as I have mentioned, 73 or 74 the Panchayat Raj institutions, urban local governance, they are dependent on the state government or the finance commission's recommendation for the fund allocation, etc. So it's very difficult for these two institutions to generate own revenue and use it for this governance purpose, or use it for the to provide basic amenities to the public, because it's the onus lies with the state that semane kete devolve କରୁଛନ୍ତି power and ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କେତେ authority ଦିଆଯାଉ so that they can collect the tax and generate revenue. So there are multiple studies जो मैंने कहूଛନ୍ତି कि urban local bodies and panchayat institutions in our country, they do not have such kind of power to generate adequate resources or revenue. So urban local governance is also victim of that. So ये भी गोटे factor जो रहुची, and it's a completely a challenge को भली भावरे आमे revenue generate करी परिबा urban asset रो and तकु further implement भी करी परिबा. Okay. Challenge 6, you would say sustainability and environmental management. Sustainability and environmental management in the sense, for example, not at the cost of ecological imbalances or ecological disturbance, what we call. So whatever projects we are implementing, it must be environmental friendly, environmental or with keeping in mind the environmental conservation and all. Similarly, last but not the least, community participation is must. Women-led, you would say community participation in local communities, engagement, involvement, let's say with respect to the plantation, with respect to involving the SSGs, you would say plantation drive and the street vendors as well. ये सब जिनसे गुड़ी करेंगे अपन local communities को convince करी परिबे, so that they would help you to evacuate those land and all by convincing those people, because those people would perceive government as an alien, so that could be a possibility of confrontation. So if the local people would involve, then the decision will be faster and with all efficiency. Okay, so these were the challenges. Now coming to the next segment, that is the effective implementation, what we need to do. The first one is the urban governance capacity. When you say urban governance capacity, obviously the urban local self-government, you need to what you call empower them financially, and obviously with respect to more power must be given to them in terms of functions, functionaries and finance. Okay. Third party audit or social audit to ensure the quality components or quality infrastructure building in the cities. Urban planning institutions, NGOs and community stakeholders must be partner with this government, because when we say urban planning, so when we say this construction of cities or different components or amenities in the cities, so we need a proper planning. So better to advise that, okay, of those planners, so they will better advices. Sustainable design and climate resilient infrastructure. Sustainable design in the sense climate resilient infrastructure, for example, electricity cyclone hele electricity cut down hela, blackout hegala 7 days 10 days पर्यंत. So how to manage, because let's say Odisha is a cyclonic prone state, flood prone state, and cyclone रे सबुठु बड़ affect कोटा हुए ये जो energy necessary essential services what we call, then how to tackle that, what would be our long term plan with respect to that. Empower urban local bodies with respect to 74th Constitutional Amendment Act for greater autonomy, and we must give them function, finance and functionaries what we call. Okay, so that's it, and Paripurna batch would be there. आपनकर फाउंडेशन बैच एटा प्रिलिम्स एंड मेन्स रो. सो जदि चाहिए आपन जॉइन करि परिबे जेएन लाइव कोड रे टू गेट द मैक्सिमम डिस्काउंट. एटा होची इंग्लिश एंड ओडिया बैच ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट ही सारिची. ओके, नेक्स्ट देखिबा सेमती आरंभ 4.0 ये होची इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी बैच, सेम फाउंडेशन बट इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी बैच सेम जेएन लाइव कोड यूज करिवे टू गेट द मैक्सिमम डिस्काउंट. ओके, पीडीएफ आपको टेलीग्राम रे मिल जिवो. Facebook, Insta, you can follow me and you can ask your query, doubt, anything you want, you can ask through me. Okay. Thank you very much, and do comment and share with your friends as well, because this is very important topic as far as your exam point of view, mains exam point of view, in fact in the GS paper 1 Indian society. Thank you. See you soon. Thank you.